Whiskey Jason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American over here in Germany, often trying and tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Today I have Dalmore, the 18-year-old. Ooh. Now, there's a little bit of a story here. I cleaned up my shelves this summer. We're now in September 2023. I have no idea when this is going to be published. It could be October, it could be November, it could be December. You never know when I get around to actually publishing things here on the English channel. And I found this bottle. It was opened, okay. There was 10 CLs missing, also okay. What's the story? And it's just like, wow, okay, a friend wanted that and I did that, and then I'm going to put it on in my bottle share and do a video. I never got around to it. It just went into my shelf and went further and further back, and newer bottles just kept them pushing it back, and I never got around to it. Well, now this summer I actually got around to cleaning up a little bit, and I was like, hey, look at there. So I did a bottle share, and now it's all distributed, and now I get to talk about it briefly. Dalmore is the brand that we whiskey geeks, nerds, whatever you want to call us, love to hate. Now, between 2018 and 2022, Dalmore is actually one of the fastest growing brands of single malt Scotch whiskey in the world. 2022, they sold 2.5 plus million bottles of Dalmore. Dalmore, I remember 8 years ago when I got into whiskey, I bought a Dalmore as well. I'm not sure if it was a 10 or 12 or whatever. And I saw this here from the deer antlers, and I was like, that's so cool. This bottle looks so posh. It looks so expensive and so great. And I just like, oh, it has to be one of the best whiskeys ever. It's not a bad whiskey, but it's an overpriced whiskey, in my personal opinion. All right, so what I would like to do, this is Whiskybase 136722. This was actually bottled on the 14th of May, 2019. So it's been in my shelves here for over 4 years. And the price for Dalmore 18, at least over here in Germany at the moment, runs in the category here of 268 euros for a 0.7 liter bottle. Now, my question of the day is going to be, what whiskey would you recommend if you had to go buy an 18-year-old single malt Scotch? Now, if I go over to one of the biggest online retailers for whiskey in Germany, whisky.de, in English, whisky.com, their cheapest 18-year-old bottle of single malt Scotch is Knock-and-Do, slow matured, 18 years of age, for 60 euros. I'm not a big fan of it, but hey. The next cheapest 18-year-old whiskey at the moment is the Singleton from Dufftown. That is an 18-year-old bottle for 70 euros. Jura has one for 72 euros. Glenlivet has their 18-year-old, which I really like. Has a mix of the European oak and the Spanish oak for 80 euros. The Glenfiddich 18, which I also like. The 18-year-old is nice. 80 euros. Glenmorangie 18, also 80 euros. What is really interesting is the Deveron 18, which is also from Dufftown. That's 85 euros. So you're paying basically 15 euros more for the same product, the Singleton from Dufftown, as the Deveron. I don't get that. All right, maybe someone can explain that to me. Cardu 18, about 87 euros. The Speyburn 18 over here, 98 euros. Bowmore at the moment, 98. Knock-and-Do, Adnoch 18, also about 100. Auchentoshan, about 100. Glenmorangie, 110. Glengrant, 110. Tomaten, 120. Royal Brachler, 120. Old Pulteney, 18, 120. Glengoyne, 130. Now, my favorite recommendation, which I don't have at the moment, unfortunately, is the Abelauer Double Sherry Cask Finish 18-year-old. If I'm going to buy a gift for someone else, that would be the one I'd buy. All right, 43%, 128 euros. Very, very nice. Longmorn 18, same price. Highland Park, remember Highland Park? Viking Pride, 43%, 18 years of age. Used to be 80 euros over here, 140. I don't get this. Koila, 18, used to be also much, much lower, 140. Legic, 18, 140 euros. Balblair, 144 euros. Glen Scotia, 18. I remember 78 euros. 148 euros. Fetacan, 18. 150 euros. Glen Rothes, 18. 160 euros. Altmore, 18. 160. Glen Cadam, 18. 160. Taliska, 18. 168 euros. I remember it used to be under 90 euros. That's just blows my mind, the prices they want. And then the thing that I'm going to compare is our Glendronach Allardyce, 18 years of age. 178 euros is what we have to pay in Germany for it at the moment. This used to be also 80 euros. Now it's 100 euros more. I'm talking about in a time span of 6 years. That is crazy. All right. Tamdu 18 used to get under 100 euros, 178. Buna 18, 188 euros. So that's also a price that I'm not willing to pay for the 18-year-old Buna. Some people say yes, they would rather have the 18 Buna than the Glendronach Buna, but hey, different strokes for different folks. And then we move over to Dalmore, 268. Springbank, if you can find it, 300. Balvinia PX cask, 350. Then we go into the big boys, the Macallans, the double cask, 18 for 370. And then the Sherry Oak, 18 for 478 euros. And if you're lucky enough to find a Macallan Spey Malt, 18, a independently bottled Gordon MacPhail, it's going to run you about 500 euros. And if you can go for the Bunhaben Mutzenilla cask, Fashil 18 from the year 2016, that's going to be 550. Those are all the 18-year-old bottles that are at the moment in Germany available in September of 2023 for that price. Now, as I said, I would pick this, and compared to this, I'm going to save 80 some euros. So I can go buy 4 bottles, 5 bottles, 6 bottles, 5 bottles of Wild Turkey 101, just as a comparison here. All right, so first of all, it's interesting, the color. This is Glendronach, natural color, non-chilled filtered. This is Dalmore 18. And I just love this. On the back of the bottle, it says the following. Ingredients. I've never seen ingredients on a bottle of whiskey before, have you? It says single malt whiskey, comma, water, comma. And then it says here, wait a second, get my eyes here, these old eyes. It says here, contains permitted natural color, 150E. Artificial coloring. They call it natural coloring because it's Zuckerkolor, is what we say in Germany here. You take sugar, it's caramel coloring, and you just take sugar, you burn it basically, you add it to it, and you have a coloring. And the interesting thing is this natural color is so much darker and better than this. And it's so much cheaper, 46%, 43%, 18 years, European and American oak. Who knows? It does say, wait a second, I'm sorry. It says matured in American white oak and bespoke Matusalem Oloroso sherry casks. Bespoke. Wasn't that like the buzzword like 5 years ago? All right, so on the nose, can I smell artificial coloring? Sometimes I think yes. I do get an artificial flavoring, an artificial sweetener moment is what I get, like stevia. This, the Glendronach. Happy Jason. Jason here. Now, this is not a bad whiskey. This is going to be a C- whiskey in my book. A's, I think I've done 3,500 videos in German already, over 2,000 in English. I think I've given 20, 30 A's in my life. B's, go buy it. Yeah, A's, why haven't you bought it? B, buy it. C, you can buy it if you like. C minus, okay, think about that. D, we don't need it. F, why was it even made? And so this is a C minus whiskey. Value for money, it's a D to an F. I don't need this. I don't need a 260 some euro bottle of Dalmore of anything. I don't need the King Alexander. I don't need the Quintet. I don't need the 18-year-old or other expensive collector bottles. No, whiskey should be enjoyed, should be opened, should be enjoyed with friends, not just looked at. All right, cheers. Mm-hmm. Mm. Does go up. It levels off. All right, so, but the whole time I have this artificial sweetener moment. Some people just don't like it. 43%. It is chill filtered. It's almost watery. It's thin. Now, some whiskeys have a wonderful viscosity. You just drink them and they're creamy and rich and beautiful and just coat your mouth. This does coat your mouth, but it's thin. It could use a little bit more of alcohol. It could use less natural, less chill filtration. You cool a whiskey down to somewhere between around 32 degrees Fahrenheit, 0 degrees Celsius. All the fatty acids in there start clumping together. You take like a coffee filter type of thing. You put it through there. You take out all the fatty acids so they can't actually cloud up. Yeah. And if you put an ice cube in it, if you drink it out straight from the car in the winter, you'll see something. And I had a whiskey just the other day. It was actually an American whiskey. It was a bourbon, and then it was like, oh, it's cloudy, and I was like, yes, that's a good thing. No, it's not. Yes, it is. Believe me, you can actually see the fatty acids. We want those in our drink. Those are the things that give us flavor as well. And it's like, but it's cloudy, and it's like, yes, all right, good. Let's try this one instead. It wasn't cloudy, and they were happy. Most consumers do not want cloudy whiskey. That's why they do it. But the nerds, the geeks know, oh, we get it over 46%, then the alcohol actually dissolves the fatty acids enough that it creates a solution that they cannot separate. And so why don't you just fill it up at 46%? Problem solved. But no, we need to save money. We need to cheat us, the consumer, and put it in at 43%. The legal minimum is 40%. And then, okay, in order to stop it from getting cloudy, chill filtration, the solution to the problem for cheap whiskeys. And that's what we don't need for a 260 plus euro bottle. All right, and so that's what I'm bickering about today is if I need to dilute it down to 40% or 35 or even just 42, let me do it with my own water. There's a decent amount of wood that comes through. Not the freshest, the brightest of wood, more of a damp, soggy type of oak wood. A little bit of wild cherry moment, a tiny little bit of cinnamon, and a little bit of dark honey. Now, Dalmore was so kind to give us the official tasting notes here on the back of the box. It says here the aroma should be vanilla and dark chocolate, orange and cinnamon. Now, if I want dark chocolate, Glendronach 18. I get the chocolate. On the palate, dark chocolate again. Candied citrus fruits, rich coffee, nutmeg, and soft licorice. Not sure about the licorice. And the finishing notes, citrus fruit and rich molasses. Now I must admit that this lingers on the palate. This has a longer finish. That's why I gave it. It's not a good enough for a 3. It's a 3 minus. It's not a. Sorry, those are the European. We do numbers instead of those. It's a C minus, not a C plus. It's definitely not a D whiskey. It's the value for money. Yes, do not spend your hard-earned money on this unless someone dictates to you to do that. If you're at the airport and a nice little young lady wants to offer you something from Dalmore, ask, oh, do you have the 18-year-old? I'd be interested in that. Do you have the King Alexander? I'd be interested in that. Don't be just satisfied with the 10 or the 12 or whatever they're pouring on that day at the airport. Travel retail, Dalmore is a big player there. White and Mackay actually owns the brand in Scotland. Jura is one of their brands. Fetacan is one of their brands. And Dalmore. And I think I forgot one. All right. If you know which one I forgot, put it down in the comments. Glendronach. Fun fact. Brown-Forman has owned Glendronach longer than Billy Walker ever did. Crazy, isn't it? Nice. I like that. I still think this is a fabulous whiskey. Was it a steal 6 years ago? Were the prices actually too low 6 years ago? Yes. Are they now too high? Maybe. But it's still a fantastic product. All right, so my question of the day remains, what is the 18-year-old whiskey, single malt scotch that you're going to buy? Your task is to buy one. Which one will it be and why? Thank you very much for watching, liking, subscribing, and telling others about this crazy guy over here in Germany. Interesting, both of them are Royal Blue. 18 years of age, Royal Blue. I think also the Royal Salute is 18 and also blue, or is that the 21-year-old? All right, thank you very much. See you real soon. Bye-bye.